Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint this boat. I don't want to put all the flooring, the floor and the front deck, all that aluminum stuff in there. Even though aluminum's lightweight, it's going to add a lot of weight to it, and this boat's already heavy as crap. So I want to be able to flip it upside down, paint the bottom of it, and then flip it back over, and then paint the inside, and then I can jump on doing all the decking and the aluminum, the floor and all that stuff. I'm going to do the same process as I did on the last boat. I got the same exact paint, just a different color. I'm not exactly sure what the color is going to be as far as the finish. It just says black, and I'm doing black, and I hope it turns out okay. But it just says black. It doesn't say flat, matte, or satin, or gloss. I don't know. I'm hoping it's more of a flat and matte side, because gloss black is really is tough to make look good. But I'm gonna do the same process as I did on the last boat as far as prep. I'm gonna sand the whole boat with 60 or 80 grit sandpaper using a little mouth sander, and hopefully that'll be good enough. This paint's really thick, so I'm not too worried about sand and scratches. I think that's gonna be it. It's just gonna be like another scuff and shoot. You know, this is the original paint on the boat, so it's not like I got 27 layers of paint from people, you know, spray painting it and whatnot. So I'm just gonna get all the scratches out, the deep scratches I can, and knock the finish off a little bit. And then of course I'm gonna blow all the dust off with the air hose, and then I'm gonna go over everything with a damp rag to get the heavy off. Then after it dries, I'm gonna go over it with acetone, wipe it down real good, and then paint the boat, and hopefully it turns out okay. Like I said, it kind of made me nervous to do black, but if everything works out the way I want it to, the picture in my head of how this boat's gonna look, if it turns out like that, it's gonna be cool. So got my fingers crossed, and let's get to work. Alright, like I said, I'm using the same paint that I used before, the Aluma Hawk. It's just black. And this stuff is made for aluminum boats, so it's kind of hard to go wrong with it. I looked at a few other things, but most stuff I found was latex, and I just don't trust latex on metal like this. Another thing I'd like to point out is somebody actually brought this up in the comments on one of my videos of painting the other boat. Is in the prep part of this, they suggest to use white distilled vinegar, I think, and I use acetone. I used acetone on my last boat, and I'm doing it on this boat too. The thing with acetone is it's hot. You know, it will melt that paint off. So you want to make sure you wipe your acetone on, you want to make sure it's dry, but acetone dries really, really fast. I'm sure that's why they don't recommend acetone, because like where I painted this boat already with this paint, if I wipe it on it, it'll bring it right off. It's like lacquer thinner almost. So, but acetone is one of the best things that I can find to really, you know, get any kind of grease and wax and stuff off, other than grease and wax remover, which I got some of that too, but I'm not trying to get that picky. It's just a boat. I'm just using foam rollers. I roll it on. This stuff dries really, really fast, and you really can't roll and tip it. Maybe in if you just had the perfect weather conditions where it had to be cold and, you know, in the shade. And I'm telling you, this is some of the fastest drying paint that's not latex I've ever seen. So it's going to have some orange peel to it using those rollers, but I mean, the only other way you could really do it and have it turn out really, really good is to spray it, you know, with an air gun, and then you have to thin it down. I don't have a compressor big enough to push an air gun, not to mention I don't even have a paint gun, an air gun to do it. So I am going to roll it on again, and I'm just hoping it turns out pretty good. So wish me luck. We'll get to paint. I got it painted. It has a lot of orange peel in it, which I guess technically isn't orange peel. It's just kind of rough from just being so thick. Not as impressed with it this time as I was the green for whatever reason. I don't know, the black just might be a little bit thicker paint and might have to go about it in a different way. One reason that makes me think it's a little bit thicker is I didn't paint as much of this boat as I did the last one. In the last boat, if you watched, I did the entire inside 2 coats and the outside 2 coats. Well, I did the bottom of this one, the outside 2 coats, and the inside, I didn't even do the bottom of the boat, 1 coat, and I'm pretty much out of paint. I actually ordered another quart of it today. So this black goes on a lot thicker. Like I said, I got 1 coat on the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and be okay with that for now. At least I can go ahead and move on to the next step and go ahead and put the floor in. That way, if I do scratch it as I'm putting the floor in and doing all the framing for the front deck and putting the front deck in, if I scratch anything, I'll be able to, once I do that second coat, it'll be able to cover it all up. So I think it's actually maybe a good thing that I only have 1 coat on the inside right now. Not really necessarily a good thing that I'm having to spend an extra $40 on paint. That 1 gallon, I think having it shipped here was 138 bucks. So that Aluma Hawk paint is not cheap, but hopefully, you know, it's designed for aluminum boats, so you know, it's not some kind of show quality paint. You know, I'm just rolling it on and brushing it on in some spots. So, but hopefully the durability makes up for it. And then again, you know, like I said, it's black. Black is a super hard color to do. And I wasn't looking for a gloss. I was wanting kind of a flat or matte color, and I've got that. It's more of like a satin. So I just hate that it kind of, I don't want anybody to think I did it with rhino lining. That's the thing. Rhino lining, I've seen a lot of people do boats, and it's not, it'll peel off real bad, and I don't want it to look like a cheap paint job, put it that way, because it definitely wasn't a cheap paint job. But anyways, hopefully it'll last, and it's going to look good once I put the numbers on and name the boat and put a decal on the back of it, and of course get the floor and everything. And it's going to tie everything together, and it's going to look good. So anyways, I'm glad I'm done with this. Painting and the sanding and all that is not very fun, in my opinion. The outcome's always one of your best payoffs, but the work that goes into it usually sucks. So I'm glad I'm done with this step, and I'm ready to move on to the next step, which will be putting that floor in. I'll go ahead and put my foam in and put my floor in, screw it down, and that way I'll know where I can start putting the legs of the front deck framing down. So I'm excited to move forward. I think right now, like I've been going up the roller coaster up that big drop off, and now I'm right there at the top. So I think everything is going to really go smooth now. So appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one.